before we get into this week's podcast, head over to elevatortothetop.com. That's my best-selling sales book, and you can get my book absolutely free. Like, no joke, no gimmick, no nothing. Just go over there, sign up, pay shipping and handling. I'll send the book right to your doorstep. Again, go over to elevatortothetop.com, grab your free copy of my book, and after you get done reading it, make sure you leave me a review on Amazon because every little bit helps. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, what's up, Closer Nation? Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Stewman, in case y'all didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Founder of hardcorecloser.com and Break Free Academy, mind you. And this podcast is all about helping the sales community. This is how I give back. This is the benevolent arm of the Hardcore Closer here. Whether you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, coaching, whatever it is that you sell, whatever product you solve in the marketplace, this podcast is dedicated to help you generate more leads for that, higher quality leads, mind you, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees so you can get paid what you're worth, baby. I'm excited you guys are here. This is episode number 39 of the THC Podcast. If you're first time, be sure to check out previous episodes. There's at least 38 others, right? I mean, it would only make sense because of math and things like that. So there's at least 38 other episodes. And here's the thing. If it's your first time, I'm going to need you to do this next time. But right now, I'm talking to the people that have listened to more than one episode. I need you to go over and leave me a review on iTunes. See, because I have this mission. I want to reach 300 million salespeople. And I want to help them improve their lives. Salespeople that have been suffering, that have gone through drug addiction, divorce, bankruptcy, prison, trouble with the, other forms of trouble with the law, have been down on their luck, been broken. I want to help 300 million people increase the quality of their life. And I need your help. I can't do this shit on my own. Right. And one of the ways that you can help back that's small, it only takes a couple seconds, but it really makes a huge difference, is just leaving me a review on iTunes under the podcast section. Go over there, leave me a 5-star review. That way, what happens is iTunes will show, the more reviews I get, the more people it will show my podcast to, the more people can hear me, the more people I can help, the closer I get to reaching my goals. So I appreciate you if you would just go over there and leave me a review like Trevor Mellon did here. He left me a 5-star review. Trevor Mellon, I appreciate that, Trevor. Good shot, man. He says, solid podcast, 5-star review. Says, every show has great content. No rainbows and butterflies BS. This is the best sales and motivational podcast yet. So I appreciate that, Trevor. And I appreciate you going out of the way to leave me a review. Matter of fact, Trevor, if you hear this podcast, shoot me a message at ryan@hardcorecloser.com, and I'll send you a physical copy of Elevator to the Top, signed, which probably makes it worth less, but whatever, signed and in the mail. So if you listen to this, Trevor, I appreciate that. Now that we have an actual fucking name for once, good job, Robert, then I'll actually send you a copy of Elevator to the Top. We're going to talk about how to be $1 million closer. And I know that it's like this thing. We see people every day and they're talking about 7 figures, especially if you're in the business, if you're in the sales community, you see people running ads all the time, how to be a 7-figure coach and how my company did $50 million. And there's even people out there like how I did $1.2 billion in Facebook ads. Bullshit. What I consider $1 million closer, and for the purpose of this show, it's someone that earns 7 figures in 12 months period of time. Could be gross. Could be net, doesn't matter, but someone who's earned 7 figures in commissions in 12 months. And that means that there's only 257,000 people that fit that description. In the world, there is only 257,000 people that make at least 7 figures in 12 months. There's 7 billion people on the world. So that tells me that this isn't some bullshit. So you see a lot of people talking about all this $1 million this, $1 million that. But if there's only 257,000 of them, and we know a lot of them, people like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Rupert Murdoch, like we know a lot of people that are making that, Donald Trump, all these other folks, right? And we know the most of them. And that means a lot of people that we're seeing online, a lot of the ads that we see, a lot of the people doing this and that, they're some bullshit. But as a person that has done multiple 7 figures in 12 months this year, current year, like nothing, like this isn't some shit I did back in my day when I was earning big money. Like I'm presently doing this shit. I'm going to share some stuff with you today. I'm going to share some thought processes, some strategies and everything else that has allowed me to reach that level. And it wasn't fucking easy. But I can tell you this with 100% certainty, that the first million is hard as fuck to come by. It was. I don't care who says, oh, it's easy to make $1 million. Bullshit. It took me fucking forever. Forever. But motherfuckers that start out with $1 million, like there's guys that are in this business now that started out something, their parents gifted them a business. They started out with, a multi-million-dollar company that they started running, or they got $1 million loan or whatever. Dude, it makes all the difference in the world. It took me 5 years to finally have a year where I made 7 figures, and it happened within 4 months of this year. And guess what? Within 3 more months, we'd already made another 7 figures in sales. So I want you to understand, it took 5 years to get the first one and then 3 months to double it. So a lot of people, they get you to your first million. It's fucking hard. It really is. But the second and third one are super easy, right? We're going on number 3 right now. We're hopefully, if we do it well, we can hit 4 before the end of the year. We still have another month and a half left. But I want you to understand the people out there that got a significant, that started out with $1 million or started out with a business, and they try to shrug it off like it didn't matter. It's like, oh man, I was going to make it with or without it. Yeah, no. That first million's a bitch. The second one, third one, fourth one, fucking easy money. Because then all of a sudden you have the money to do the things that you need to do. You see, I ran my company, or still do run my company, 100% debt free. I've paid everything out of my pocket. I have no loans, no business partners, no JVs, no investors, no anything. And I've had to come up from scratch, starting with $25 a day ads all the way up to what we're doing right now, which is about $70,000 a month in advertising. And I want you to understand that it took 5 years to build that shit up to hit that first $1 million year. And I'm not kidding when I say within just a few months later, we'd already done our second million. So I just want to put that in your mind. But less than 257,000 people in the world earn 7 figures in 12 months. And we're going to talk about that today. There's some actionable items that you can do to become a $1 million closer, no matter what you sell. I know a lot of people are like, man, I sell cars, man. I can't make no millions of dollars. The dealer that owns the dealership that you work at makes millions of dollars. He's selling cars. You got to think bigger than yourself. You think, be like, oh man, I'm in insurance. There's no way I can make $1 million in a year. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can make $1 million in a year. Do more business. There's plenty of people out there doing it. I don't care what it is that you sell. You might be, I'm a door-to-door meat salesman. I can't make $1 million a year. Yeah, you can. Hire other salespeople. Duplicate yourself. Right? Like don't narrow your thinking, expand your mind. You have to think bigger than your current position, which brings us to the first thing, which is the $1 million mentality. If you're going to be a $1 million closer, you're going to make 7 figures in 12 months. You got to have $1 million mentality. The biggest thing about becoming $1 million producer is the mindset. And I know you probably hear like mindset shit all the time. You're like, oh fuck, here we go with this like power of the universe, secret bullshit. Like, no. I'm talking about a relentless mindset. My buddy Vic Bell was on our tribe call this week. If you're not familiar with what the tribe is, that's my personal clients who pay $2,500 a month to have access to me and meet up and discuss and mastermind and all that good stuff. And I have my friends come on as guests occasionally on our trainings. My buddy Vic Bell was on there just this Monday talking about the relentless lifestyle. It's like somewhere along the line, you learn to relent. You get comfortable. We trade security. We trade security for freedom. And there's at some point people settle for a $50,000 job, a $50,000 a year job. Some people settle for a $250,000 a year sales job. Some people settle for a salary, right? They're scared. They become comfortable. And that's not a $1 million mentality. The $1 million mentality is, like my buddy Vic Bell says, is relentless. Like you will stop at nothing. You see, I had my mind set that I wanted to make this money, not because I need the money, not because I wanted the headaches of making millions of dollars a year, because I promise you, as the great philosopher Puff Daddy once said, mo money, mo problems. I didn't need all of this shit. But the fact is I put my mind to something because I said, if I can accomplish this, then in my mind, that means that I've established, that means that I have made a difference. That means that I have put myself into the marketplace and provided 7 figures worth of value. And that's the $1 million relentless mentality you have to have. Right? A lot of people say, man, you know what, dude? I want to be a millionaire. There's even a song by like the Gym Class Heroes. It's like, I want to be a billionaire so bad. But he talks about how bad he wants it in the song. And that's like a reflection of how the public is. He's talking about how bad he wants it. But the truth is most people aren't willing to go out and do it. They want to become a millionaire so freaking bad, but they don't want to work for it. Right? Which brings us to part 2. You have to be an action taker. When I first put my mind, I was 27 years old, and I said, I'm going to make $1 million by the time I'm 30. And I put my mind to it, and this was, I think, 2006, 2005. I gross income of $773,000, and I fell short of my goal. The next year, I ended up getting arrested and going to prison and shit like that, so it kind of fucked me up a little bit there. But I set my mind to something, and I made it happen. I stayed up night after night. I had 2 roommates, cool guys. They were awesome. They were always bringing over dumb chicks and banging them and shit like that. I watched these guys go out, go to the club, bring hot ass women home, bang them, go out, go to the club, bring hot ass women, always having a good time. Meanwhile, I'm in my fucking bedroom over here just like putting together a big ass plan, working on things, shifting paperwork around, doing everything I can. I'm making the sacrifice, which is our third part here. I'm making the sacrifice that I'm sacrificing my fun while it's going on in front of me because I was so focused on being an action taker, right? Like it's one thing to say you want something. It's another to be willing to do whatever it takes. You know, Vic Bell, again, he just said every week he trains like he has a fight on Friday. And that is a good way to think about it. It's like, you know what? I made up my mind that I wanted to earn 7 figures in 12 months for the first time before I was 30 years old. And I went for it. I did what it took. I stayed in my room working on my plan. I worked during the day. I went shook hands. I went network. I did all these things that I was supposed to, because if I knew that most people weren't willing to do the work, if I would just do the work, I would see the results. And I made the sacrifice, which is our third part here. And the lifestyle of the Kardashians and shop at Rodeo Drive, or as we say in Texas, Rodeo Drive, in Rodeo Drive or whatever the fuck, right? Like everybody wants that, but nobody wants to leave their comfort zone. Nobody wants to have any kind of sacrifice. You know, it's one thing to want the finer things in life. It's another to work for them. And let's be real. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? And everybody would be a millionaire and it would have no significance. Matter of fact, I have some money in my safe and it's Zimbabwe money. Zimbabwe money? Yep. And the Zimbabwe money says $50 trillion. It's a real legit dollar bill. $50 trillion. Like, no wonder other countries are so good at math. They have to count so fucking high, man. But $50 trillion, right? So that means that there's probably, it cost me like $3 on eBay. So that means there's a lot of people in Zimbabwe that are trillionaires. It's fucking crazy, right? It's like a lot of people over there in Zimbabwe that are trillionaires. So it means nothing. It's easy to attain over there. So it means nothing to be a trillionaire. What are you in Zimbabwe if you're rich? A quadrillion? Like, holy shit, man. Talk about a fuck monetary system. It's time y'all knock a few zeros off of that shit, folks. Back to the ADD. So making that sacrifice is what makes all the difference in the world. While everybody else is out having fun and, like I said, banging hot chicks and everything else, here I am in my room focused on making my goal happen. Guess what? Today, out of all the people that were my roommates, I'm the only one that's a multimillionaire because I did the work. They saw me doing the work. They had the ability to join me doing the work. They had the ability to stop doing what they were doing and do the work too. I'm not judging them for it, but I'm just saying that's why I have what others don't, because I was willing to do what others won't. And that brings us to our next point. And part of that's because I have a high threshold for pain. The pain of not having fun. Right? The pain of not going out and banging hot chicks every night, the pain of not having fun, the pain of having to stick through the work, having to stick and do the work, the pain of mental anguish and exhaustion and lack of sleep, and the financial pain. You know, my buddy Jay Kinder says, your ability to grow a company is in direct proportion of your ability to withstand financial pain. Spend your money and deal with the stress of being broke in order to gain. If you can deal with the pain in order to gain, right? Isn't that what they say in the workout world? Then you will. And he's right. Every time that I've grown, I've had to empty my bank account, which for the corporation, every time I've grown, I've had to empty the bank account into the next venture. It's like, hey, now we've bankrolled and saved all this money. Let's invest it in the next venture. And that's some painful shit. You know, we're about to switch over and launch this Break Free Academy Entourage program, and we're taking all my products off the market as of December 15th, and we're only going to offer this Break Free Academy Entourage training. That's it. It's going to be the most advanced training you've ever seen, with newsletters, live streams, and online. Dude, it is going to be absolutely amazing. It's the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. But I have gone through some serious financial pain because of this, because I'm self-funding it. I'm self-funding the salaries that I'm paying people to create this alongside of me. I'm self-funding the advertising. I'm self-funding the technology. I'm self-funding the commissions that are up front. And dude, it is financially painful. But if I wasn't able to endure this financial pain, there is no way on God's green earth that I could become a 7-figure and 12-month earner. A lot of people, again, it's that comfort zone that they stay in. They're like, well, I don't really want to spend any of my money because it took me a lot of work to get it. And those of us that are $1 million closers, as soon as we get it, we want to spend it, and not in Rodeo Drive or anything like that, but we want to spend it back in our business, because we know that if we can withstand the pain, then we can inherit the gain that comes alongside of it. So number 5, and the last point that I'll leave you with today is connect with other $1 million closers. Find you a mentor. And that reminds me, and I just mentioned it, but join Break Free Academy Entourage. There's several multi-millionaires in there. There's 9-figure earners, 8-figure earners, CEOs of companies. There's like when Break Free Academy Entourage comes out December 15, it's eligible to the public because we got like our own little insider list right now. When it comes out, join that. Connect with other $1 million closers in there. Learn what they do. Act how they act. Hell, I'll be in there. I'm a $1 million closer, right? Watch what I do. Watch how I work. Watch how I act. Watch my routines. It's all going to be streamed through the Break Free Academy Entourage program anyway. Because listen, whether you pay for it or not, you're going to have to find you an authentic mentor, coach, somebody, a mastermind, somebody who's doing what you want to do, which is earn 7 figures in 12 months. So here's the thing. You can text THC Podcast to 44222, and you can get my newest book for free. But here's what I'd really like for you to do. It's force of habit for me to say that at the end of every show, but here's what I'd really like you to do. I'd like for you to check out our Break Free Academy Entourage program so that you can connect with these other $1 million closers and you can learn how you too can become the next $1 million closer. Go to HC, as in hardcore closer, HCwebinar.com. Enter your information, sign up. We're doing webinars on a regular basis. The next one, you may be listening to this in the future, but the next one is December 15th. That's when we're going to launch all this to the public. And I'm telling you, Break Free Academy Entourage will change your life. You'll be able to align yourself with some of the top producers, and before long, you'll be able to present yourself as a graduate of Break Free Academy and a member of Break Free Academy alumni. And I'm telling you, that's going to have some powerful weight in the marketplace. Let me go back over these quick bullet points, and then we'll roll out for the day. So first of all, you got to have $1 million mentality. You can't get to the next level thinking like you do on the level that you're on. So if you're making 100 grand a year and that's your mentality, you'll never make 7 figures in a year because you are not focused on the 7 figures. You're focused on the 6. You got to have that $1 million mentality. Part of $1 million mentality is being an action taker. Right? It's one thing to want something. It's one thing to say something. It's another to get your ass up and work. While my roommates were banging all these hot chicks, man, it looked like a lot of fucking fun. I'm over here banging out words on a business plan and putting together paperwork. And, that was the sacrifice that I had to make in order to get where I am now. I risked it in the beginning because I have a high threshold that went through the pain, right, in the beginning so that I could come out on the other end smelling like a rose over here. It wasn't always this way, though, right? Lastly, join Break Free Academy Entourage and connect with other $1 million closers. You can find out all about Break Free Academy Entourage by signing up for our next webinar, HCwebinar.com. Lastly, do not forget to leave me a review, damn it. I need a review. 5 stars, hook me up, 300 million. Remember all that conversation we had in the beginning? That shit's still going right now. And make sure you share this on social media. If you want to connect with me on social media, it's easy. Go to clyxo.com/closer. That's clixo.com/closer. You can find me on whatever social media account there. While you're there, sign up. It's a free service. I actually own the company, so sign up and get you a Clixo account. Thanks for listening. Make sure you share and rate us on iTunes. Y'all get to work. Let's see the future of $1 million closers be born from this podcast.